Hello, welcome to 10 at 10. It's exciting. We have some exciting topic to talk about today. CTV. So if you kind of saw the actual name or title of this 10 at 10, CTV, kind of what is it, and how is it impacting you? Usually we kind of wait a little bit to get some people in, so more viewers have time to tune in. But yeah, to start off, I'm Spencer Koppel. I'm a digital specialist here at Key Media Solutions.
And I'm Taylor Nelson, digital strategist.
But yeah, no. So we're going to be kind of talking about CTV today, what it is. It's a lot of people don't know what it is, don't know what it means. We use it almost daily, kind of just talking about CTV. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, honestly, we probably can get started. Yeah,
Yep.
usually
Let's jump right in.
Cool. All right. So what actually is CTV? Connected CTV or connected TV or CTV refers to television devices that stream video content via internet rather than traditional cable or broadcast channels. This includes things like smart TVs, Roku's, Amazon Fire Sticks, Apple TV, even gaming consoles, stuff like that could be considered CTV. So in short, CTV is turning the television more digital rather than cable. So they're kind of two different things. So if you're watching content through an app on your TV, through any kind of device, that would be considered CTV.
So the reason this definition matters is because from the viewer's perspective, nothing really changes. It still feels like watching TV. But from the advertising perspective, everything changes. Once the TV is connected to the internet, it behaves much more like a digital channel, which opens the door to better targeting, measurement, and flexibility than traditional TV has ever allowed.
So why CTV changes how advertising works? Unlike original like cable or traditional TV ads, CTV allows us to target more data-driven and targeted audiences. So instead of just buying a broad demographic time slot, so like prime time, you're like, oh, I want to advertise at 6 p.m. prime time. It instead allows targeting specific households by location, interest, or viewing behavior. So, for example, if you're wanting to target something more rural, like farmers and whatnot, instead of just targeting that time slot of, okay, well, I hope that this audience is going to be watching at this time, you can specifically target, okay, well, I know that this user is going to be watching this channel. I would like to target their specific interest. It kind of gives us a little bit more adaptability. So rather than just being like, okay, here's the time slot we want, it allows us to kind of target by household instead. Makes TV advertising more relevant, more efficient, and a lot more measurable, making it so that it's a little bit more digitally aligned with how it already operates.
Yeah, just like Spencer said, traditionally TV buying was more about programs and schedules. You were making educated guesses about who might be watching it. CTV flips that model. Instead of buying shows, advertisers are buying audiences. That shift is what turns TV from a one-way broadcast channel into something that feels intentional and accountable. Similar to other digital channels, but with the impact of the biggest screens in the house.
Yeah. So why CTV matters in with modern advertisers? Accountability. That's kind of the biggest thing. CTV allows us to have more measurable things like impressions, completion rates, and in some cases, attribution tied directly to the CTV campaign, such as site visits or app installs. Basically, it just makes it so it's a lot more measurable. So instead of just being like, well, this could have been caused by this could have been from that, it allows us to have a lot more tangible, actual, measurable key performance indicators or metrics from it. It also allows a lot more flexibility and allows us to kind of help with upfront costs. So instead of it just being like you need to spend X amount of money, it allows us to a lot more flexibility and kind of helps lower the barrier of entry for actual TV advertising compared to traditional cable.
So this is a big deal because it changes who TV is for. CTV makes television accessible to advertisers who may have never considered it before, not just large national brands, but regional and emerging brands as well. It also means TV can play a role beyond just awareness. When paired with channels like paid social, search, or display, CTV often becomes the anchor video channel that makes the rest of the media plan work harder.
So why CTV is a long-term shift and not just a trend. Looking at consumer viewing habits, they have permanently kind of changed towards streaming. A lot more people have kind of cut the cable and are starting to use streaming platforms instead of cable. And they're still kind of continuous or rapidly growing. It seems like every other day there's a new streaming service coming up. So it kind of sits, CTV kind of sits in a good intersection where there is a lot of audience selection, and it also kind of helps with how we buy media, CTV media today. Well, there are some challenges with CTV, such as platform fragmentation, basically, which means there's with a lot of platforms being offered, it's kind of harder to have just one general, like, okay, cool, this is the platform I want. Having that platform fragmentation kind of makes it a little bit more separated for audiences total. But CTV is still kind of becoming a foundational part of modern advertising strategies.
Yeah, so those challenges are real, but they're part of a growing channel, not a declining one. The reason CTV isn't just a trend is because it aligns with two permanent realities. One, audiences are streaming, and two, advertisers need accountability. So if there's one takeaway to remember, it's this: connected TV isn't new TV, it's TV that works like digital.
Yeah. And honestly, there's some really cool stuff coming on with CTV. I think I was watching the new Fallout TV show, and that's on Amazon Prime. And
Mhm.
during one of the commercial breaks, it actually had a thing where like you could add, it was like some kind of like health, like some kind of skin cream or something. I could actually click on my remote to add it to my cart, which
Yeah.
I think is kind of crazy. Kind of how that's developing, and it'll be kind of interesting to see how different. Obviously, that one's owned by Amazon, so it makes sense. It's directly tied to your cart. It'll be kind of cool to see, how will other platforms potentially, evolve in that way. Could we see some more like stuff like that? I know Netflix really had a high push on a lot more like merchandise and whatnot. You can go to Target and get Stranger Things items. Could
Mhm.
they potentially have advertising similar to that? I don't know. It's super interesting, and I feel like it's still kind of a little bit of the Wild West with some of that. Like I said, with a lot of the new platforms popping up almost daily, um, who knows what it could kind of look like. All I know is it looks super stable, what we're seeing right now,
Mhm.
and it's super useful for us as digital marketers.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just going to continue to evolve over time.
Hmm.
Um, and I think it'll become more accessible for businesses to,
Yeah,
to advertise on. So
I'm
it's
really
super exciting.
Yeah, no, it is. Honestly, I'm really excited to see. I know there was at one point there was an app, I think it was like Quibi or something like that, and it was like the first. It didn't do well, but it was like the first. They tried to make a vertical format CTV basically, so it was like TV on your phone. It was vertical.
Yeah.
Didn't do well. But I would be excited to see kind of if that actually does take off at some point eventually. I think if it has the right content and if it works well, you know, if it's on your phone, that could even be a lot higher engagement. But we'll see.
Yeah,
It's evolving and it's super interesting.
for sure.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions or anything, even if it's another idea for a 10 at 10, feel free to leave in the comments, even if it's after the fact. We usually kind of review the comments and see if anyone's put anything in there. So, yeah. But if you have any questions or anything about CTV or digital marketing in general, we're kind of an open book and we're willing to discuss whatever. Cool. Awesome. Well, I hope you guys know more about CTV or connected TV after this. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And then just a reminder, someone from Key Media Solutions will be here every week to discuss a topic at 10 o'clock every Wednesday.
Yep.
So, like Spencer said, if you have any ideas or any topics you'd like for us to touch on, please don't hesitate to shoot them our way, and we would be more than happy to do so.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. Awesome. Well, I'm not seeing anything rolling in, so I think, yeah, no, for sure. If you guys have any kind of questions or comments after the fact, feel free to leave them in if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn, or I think we stream on Instagram as well. Yeah, feel free to leave them in the comments.
yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, see you guys.